Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. The program will begin shortly.
We like the birds and the bees, but we'd rather die on our feet and keep living on our knees. Say it loud. Say it loud. Let me hear you. Say it loud. Say it loud. Ooh, you're killing me. All right. Out of sight. All right. Out of sight. Ooh-wee. Oh, no. Ooh-wee. You're killing me. Ooh-wee. 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 Ooh, ow. Say it loud. Say it loud. Lord, I feel it. Say it loud. Say it loud. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Lord, there've been times that I thought I could last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The program will begin shortly.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Most people think great God will come from the sky, take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. And now when you see the light, you stand up for your rights. Yeah. Get up, stand up. Yeah, yeah. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Life is your right. Get up, stand up. So we can't give up the fight. Stand up for your right. Lord, Lord. Get up, stand up. Keep us bubbling on. Don't give up the fight. Yeah.
We're sick and tired of your ism, schism, game, dine and go to heaven in Jesus' name, Lord. We know and we understand. Almighty God is a living man. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So now we see the light. What you gonna we gonna stand up for our rights.
Yeah,
So you better
get up, stand up.
in the
Don't
morning.
give it up. Stand up for your right.
Stand up right now.
Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
Don't give it up, don't give it up.
Get up, stand up.
Get up, stand up.
Stand up for your right.
Get up, stand up.
Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
Get up, stand up.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
Get down, baby, to the funky, funky, funky groove. Get down, baby, let the light reflect upon your natural mood. Get down, baby, your creative mood shall express itself. Get down, baby. After life and desire, there is nothing left. We're all children of the world. A hungry man in search for a hungry girl. The extreme supreme of all cannibals. The most weighty and two-faced of all animals. Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! Take my soul, baby. When you're real, I can feel so much desire. Take my soul, baby. Life unfolds from my soul in a song of fire. So get down. Just get down.
Good morning, friends, family, and partners. Welcome to the 38th Annual All Peoples Celebration, a space to bring Dr. King's beloved community to life. We have planned a program that brings joy and inspiration to all of you this Monday morning. It is filled with performances, awards, and a dynamic keynote speaker who will share knowledge on why it is important to always choose courage, which is the theme of this year's event. As you head to your assigned tables, make a new friend, pay a compliment to someone walking by, connect with others in the room. Today is all about community.
Daddy, I would like to be Miss Black America.
Her English stepping so proud. Mother Nature's only godchild. Society salutes you today, and we'd like to say, God bless Miss Black America. Watch over Miss Black America. She cried tears of success. We wish her long happiness. Miss Black America. Sisters, we're all so very proud of that natural look we see among the crowd. Worldwide admiration from nation to nation. They love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The program will begin shortly.
You're such wonderful people and so beautifully equal. America. A culture no one can deny. If a young child should ask, then tell them why. They should not be ashamed of their past. Just explain the true mother is Black America. None other than Miss Black America. She cried tears of success. We wish her long happiness. Black America. Miss Black
Is it off?
America. We're so proud of her. Miss Black America. Miss Black America.
Right now? Start right now? Am I? Let me know if I need to slow down or not. Hauka Mimiu Timinyue. I am the Civic Engagement Coordinator. I am a member of the Viejas Band of the Kumeyaay Nation. We at Alliance San Diego respectfully acknowledge that the land within these areas sustained the life of the Kumeyaay Nation and maintained a symbiotic relationship since the beginning. The Kumeyaay Nation has inhabited this land from time immemorial, long before colonization and before borders existed. The Kumeyaay people occupied the land as far south as Ensenada, north to Palomar Mountain, and east to the Salton Sea. Despite the efforts of colonization and genocide, the Kumeyaay people still remain resilient and practice their long-standing traditions through language, bird songs, bird dancing, and even host social events such as annual gatherings. The Kumeyaay Nation has maintained a stewardship of the land through traditional practices and a high respect for Mother Earth. We must pay respect and commit to honor the past, present, and future of the Kumeyaay Nation for their caretaking and protection of this land. Alliance San Diego commits to build and maintain a relationship with the Kumeyaay people. We at Alliance San Diego ask that you dedicate time to researching and learning the culture and history of the Kumeyaay people in an effort to decolonize and protect the land for countless generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Janika. Alliance San Diego is grateful to all of you for showing up every year to make this event a success. Thank you for choosing to celebrate with us today as we honor the living legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, if you are able, please stand and join us for a live performance of the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice, and Sing by native San Diegan budding artist Amari Michelle.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoices rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path, we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you, Amari. Your voice is a powerful representation of the next generation of leaders. Coming to the stage now is Sam Tshoy, Director of Nonprofit Leadership Institute of San Diego, to deliver our opening intentions to get us grounded in community.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, San Diego. Buenos dias, 早上好. It's my great honor to ground us with an opening intention this morning. And we'll be doing it with our eyes, with our hands, and with our voices. First, let's start with the eyes. It's not every day that I get to be up here to see this gorgeous tapestry of humanity. So I'm gonna be a dad for a moment and just take a photo. Like I'm a proud dad of this group. All right. Can you say MLK all day? MLK all day. All right. All right. Now a selfie. Thank you. You gotta indulge me for a moment here. Now it's your turn. Go ahead, take a good look around the room. Take a good long look at the gorgeous faces around you. As you scan this giant space, behold all the beautiful smiles. Feel the love, feel the power that is emanating from each soul. We are close to 1,000 strong today to honor the life, the sacrifice, and the moral vision of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in such a time as this. I stand before you today recognizing there is real pain, there is real discord and loneliness in our lives. Dr. King put it this way about our collective condition. He named the interconnectedness of evils that are plaguing our society as the giant triplets of racism, of materialism, and of militarism. And it's really disturbing that these forces are producing even more morbid symptoms than ever, 60 years since King warned us. When there is crisis upon crisis, the temptation is to freeze, to wait, or to shrink. But we are here today to demonstrate that we do not wait for perfect conditions to build community. We stand tall together to strengthen the bonds that will fortify us, and we're here today in this fierce urgency of now to choose courage. When we invoke courage, I see Maria here in the room, that's a face of courage. When we invoke courage, we're talking about the kind of courage that is deliberate, a deliberate moral choice to take the next action. It is the decision to do what is right even when evil and when fear is staring you in the face. Courage is intentionally putting our reputation, our resources, our relationships, and yes, sometimes even our very lives on the line. Like the many perfecters of our union during the civil rights era and the everyday heroes who are continuing that work for racial healing, for economic justice, and for human rights. King's example of moral courage and his words offer us a definition that can anchor us today. He said, "Courage is an inner resolution that go forward despite obstacles." Let me read that again. Courage is an inner resolution to go forward despite obstacles. That means power does not come from the outside. Power starts here in the gut. Power starts here in the heart. And courage is that fuel we need to build solidarity, to strengthen trust, and to make real a multicultural, a multi-faith democracy. So now let's take this to the somatic level with our hands and ground ourselves in that definition of courage. I want us to feel that inner resolution in a physical way. I'd like to invite everyone, to the extent that you're able, to join me in practicing the ASL, the American Sign Language sign for courage. In ASL, the sign for courage or bravery looks like this. You start here with an open hands, like a claw, near the space of your heart. As you bring your hands forward, you're closing them into fists, ending with a stance of strength, a stance of readiness. Let me double check with the interpreters real quick. Am I doing this accurately? Courage. Let's take a quick moment to thank them. Thank our interpreters for today. So you see this movement. You're taking something out from inside you, that inner resolution. You're bringing that out into the world. Let's do it one more time in super slow motion with some breath work. All right, you ready? Take a deep breath in. As you inhale, reach in for the inherent dignity of your story. Reach in for your spiritual source. Reach in for the legacy of your ancestors. As you exhale, create a strong stance. Pause with that stance. Look around the room again. This is what it looks like for all of us to choose courage. This movement, this stance is what we're about today. So let's wrap up with our opening intentions with our courageous voices. So we started with our eyes, we use our hands, so let's use our voices. We're going to do a simple call and response. So when I say choose courage, all the people will say, we are ready. Got this? All right, we're gonna do it 3 times. Choose courage. Choose courage. Choose courage. Let's get ready to claim our dignity. Let's get ready to build the beloved community that we desperately need right now. And let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Good morning. My name is Lawana Richmond, and I am the board chair of Alliance San Diego. We are honored to have you here with us today to celebrate the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You're right. There's no doubt about it, we are living in troubled times. But the teachings of Dr. King can guide us. He believed resolutely that all people, every single one of us, was part of the human family deserving of respect and dignity. He envisioned a future where that would be so, and he spent his lifetime building what he called the beloved community. Dr. King understood that the beloved community would not be built with hope alone, but rather through the persistence of our efforts, the courage of our actions, and the commitment to make real, meaningful change. Alliance San Diego is doing the work to build community power, to make that change, to bring human rights home. We invite you to partner with us as a volunteer, as a supporter, and donor. Please consider a donation today by giving through the QR code on your table. Thank you.
Hello, San Diego. Buenos días. ¿Cómo están? How are we? Today is a glorious day to celebrate Dr. King and his living legacy. I am Andrea Guerrero, the Executive Director of Alliance San Diego. whose rich traditions and activism aims at building community power to bring human rights home to San Diego. We all stand on the shoulders of giants, of people who chose courage, and we are better for it. Many are no longer with us, but their spirits live on in the work we all do. I invite you to take a moment to think about someone whose courage inspired you. A mother, a grandfather, a brother, Dr. King. Let's just take a moment. Thank you, Roger. We have a great program lined up for you today with a talented group of artists, awardees, and special guests, including keynote speaker B.A. Parker from NPR's Code Switch, who embody what it means to choose courage. In the last part of the program, we will sing together, Fair Warning. We will invite faith leaders and leaders of faith-based organizations to join us on stage with the performers as we sing, We Shall Overcome. Please enjoy the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Luana and Andrea. Every contribution is a pledge of support. With your gift, Alliance San Diego is able to stay the course and serve communities with trust, dignity, and passion. Please turn your eyes to both the stage and the venue's perimeter for a special performance from the alumni dancers of Transcendance, a youth development organization working to build underserved San Diego communities by instilling life-changing skills such as leadership, collaboration, and community engagement. Performing Freedom, a piece choreographed by Ron Davis, illustrating how dignity and self-worth grow when we lean on our community.
The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams from Spiral Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated.
Keep on running, 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves. through your borders. Call me bulletproof. Lord, forgive me, I've been running blind in truth. I'ma wade through your shallow love. Tell the deep I'm new. I'm telling these tears go and fall away, fall away. Oh, may the last one burn into flames. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
Ten Hail Marys, I meditate for practice. Channel 9 News tell me I'm moving backwards. 8 blacks left, death is around the corner. 7 misleading statements about my persona. 6 headlights waving in my direction. Come on. 5-0 asking me what's in my possession. Yeah, I keep running, jumping the aqueducts, fire hydrants and hazardous smoke alarms on the back of us. But mama, don't cry for me, rap for me, try for me, live for me, breathe for me, sing for me. Honestly, guiding me, I can be more than I gotta be. Stole from me, lied to me, nation hypocrisy, code on me, driving me wicked. My spirit inspired me like yeah. Open correctional gates in high desert. Yeah. Open our mind as we cast away oppression. Open the streets and watch our beliefs. And when they carve my name inside the concrete, I pray it forever reads.
Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
Father, get in there. What you want from me? Is it true? You see, Father, get in there. In there.
Thank you, Transcendence. Alliance San Diego is honored to have your beauty with us this morning. Your movement ignites us with joy and awakens a sense of purpose and resistance. Now join me in welcoming Omar Araiza and Maisha Rice, Alliance San Diego board member and advancement director, to offer words of gratitude to our generous sponsors and supporters.
Good morning, everyone. You made it. It is our deep pleasure to thank all the people that made this event possible. We could not have done this alone. First and foremost, we'd like to thank our beloved community. That's all of you. Give yourselves a hand. Yes. Thank you for being here today. To our sponsors, we are so grateful for your generosity and continued support of the All Peoples celebration. Thank you to our friends at Balboa Park Activity Center and our venue sponsors, the San Diego Parks and Rec Department. Our sponsors at the claiming level, United Domestic Workers, AFT Local Guild 1931.
And to our elevating sponsors, we want to thank Assemblymember Chris Ward. We also want to thank San Diego Mesa and City College. We also want to thank the San Diego City College District, San Diego Miramar College, and San Diego College of Continuing Education.
To our community partners, Port of San Diego, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the University of San Diego, KPBS, Marnac Elevation and 7 Mile Casino, and UC San Diego Labor Center.
For the Table Dignity Defender sponsors, we want to thank the San Diego Foundation. We want to thank Southwestern Community College. We want to thank Danielle Scarborough. Yeah! We want to thank the San Diego Community Power. We also want to thank Norma Casares.
And we also want to pause and give a special shout out to those who support Alliance San Diego all year long. Dr. Bronner Family Foundation, Evelyn and Walter Haas Jr. Fund, the Ford Foundation, Four Freedoms Fund, Scatterberg Foundation, Lawrence and Susan Hess, and all of our monthly sustainers. Thank you.
And now we want to ask for the elected officials in the room, if you could please stand. And we want to be able to recognize all our elected officials. Thank you for your service for the community, leadership, and courage. Now, if you're a person under the age of 25, please stand and stay standing. Round of applause. Where was it? Okay. So you are the future leaders. The leaders who can count on building a community power and hold us accountable. That's very important.
Very.
Very.
All right, if you work in the field of social justice, please stand and stay standing. Nice. Thank you for your tireless work. Aha. Aha. Thank you for the tireless work you do day in and day out to improve the lives of those who live here in the San Diego region. Now, if you believe in Dr. King's dream and that all of us belong, that all of us are cherished, and all of us should have full access to human rights and be treated with dignity, please stand. Hint, that's all of you, hopefully. Awesome.
Thank you. Together we can do this. We can realize Dr. King's dream and build a beloved community that honors dignity for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. In honor of Alliance San Diego's dedicated supporters and leaders in the community, this next presentation awards individuals who are strong advocates in the community, fighting to uplift the dignity and human rights of all people. Alliance San Diego Board President Emeritus Isidro Ortiz and Alliance San Diego Civic Engagement Manager Ted Womack will share a little insight on the award and present the 2026 Leo Carrillo Change Agent Award.
Buenos dias. Thank you for coming and honoring us with your presence today. Leo Carrillo was an extraordinary change agent. As Alliance San Diego's first full-time organizer, he led with compassion and conviction to empower the community and to build an inclusive democracy. Leo was passionate about social justice and was eager to help us build Alliance San Diego, which 16 years ago did not even have 4 walls. As a transformational activist, Leo drew inspiration from his Mexican immigrant family and found joy in his LGBTQ familia. He was a deeply committed and emphatic person who guided many through the complexities of this world. He gave generously of his talents, insights, and expertise. Long after he worked at Alliance, he came back to shepherd community conversations about fears, anxieties, and hope in moments of political turbulence. He inspired people to find their strengths and recognize that they were not alone. In honor of his memory, Alliance San Diego has created the Leo Carrillo Change Agent Award to recognize a young activist and leader who is working concretely to bring about social change in Leo's spirit and example. Leo Carrillo, presente.
Diamond Brandon is a movement builder, a strategist, and an unapologetic champion for working people, community power, and Black liberation. She has spent her career creating spaces where communities, especially women of color, can reclaim power, demand equity, and lead lasting change. Diamond's organizing roots were shaped through 8 years at Alliance San Diego, where she led large-scale civic engagement efforts, community advocacy programs, and grassroots leadership development across San Diego County. She currently serves as Director of Community Partnerships at the California Federation of Labor Unions, AFL-CIO, supporting organizing institutes, labor policy strategy, rapid response efforts, and partnerships that expand worker power statewide. She has also served in legislative leadership as the, as the District Director Field Representative for California Assembly District 80. And even beyond institutional spaces, Diamond is the co-owner of SS Friendly Ranch, a Black-owned healing and learning space rooted in collective care, land stewardship, and joy. A devoted mother, wife, poet, my mentor, Diamond leads with purpose, care, and a relentless commitment to justice. And just a side note, she's also the reason I'm even with Alliance San Diego. She brought me in, she told me, hey, you should go volunteer, and look, I'm here all these years later. So it is a beautiful, beautiful honor to present the Leo Carrillo Award to my friend Diamond Brandon.
Okay, y'all gotta stop because I gotta behave. Thank you. That's right, Southeast all day, don't make me nervous. Good morning, family. It is such an honor to be here today, and especially in honor of Dr. King Day, a day that calls us into action, reflection, and responsibility. I want to begin by first honoring God and my ancestors whose carriage has carried me here, and by thanking Alliance San Diego for this recognition and being a strong foundation for me. This award carries the name of Leo Carrillo, And I met Leo at Alliance when I was 19, young, a little outspoken, determined, and he modeled a kind of organizing rooted in discipline, care, and accountability to the community. Being honored in his name feels like a full circle moment because the work that Leo helped lay the groundwork for, immigration reform, educational equity, and community advocacy, is the work I've spent the last 17 years committed to. In Dr. King's final speech, The Mountaintop, it has stayed with me for much of my life, mostly because it's poetic, but also because it's honest. He said, "I have seen the promised land." And in the same breath, he told us, "I may not get there with you." Now reflecting on those words as an organizer, I realize that he didn't speak those words as resignation, but responsibility. And he was reminding us that this work is not about ego or legacy or recognition. It's about obedience to purpose. It's about showing up even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. It's about doing the work because it's right, not because it's popular. And for the last 17 years, my work has centered the heart of that message in labor, in government, in community spaces, in organizing rooms, in crisis, in policy fights, hell, even some people's living rooms. And I've learned that real change does not come from performance. It comes from persistence. It comes from humility, strategy, and the willingness to do the hard, often unglamorous work of building trust. We are living in a moment where activism has become loud, but not necessarily effective, and where social media rewards outrage more than outcomes, where people fall in love with being seen as righteous, but shy away from the responsibility of organizing, educating, negotiating, staying in the work when it gets uncomfortable. Dr. King warned us about this. He understood that movements die when ego replaces discipline, that justice stalls when we confuse visibility for impact, and today, now more than ever, we need that clarity because the stakes are too high for us to sit in division, too high for purity politics, too high for ego-driven activism that prioritizes being right over being effective. We do not all have to agree. We do not all have to share the same language, politics, or approach as long as your values or work does not diminish my humanity or uphold my oppression, then we have work to do together. There is too much at stake to easily write people off when their lives are on the line. I stand here now at 36. I ain't a little youngin' no more. And I'm still in this work. Not because it's easy, but because it is necessary. Because I believe what Dr. King believed, that transformation requires sacrifice, courage, and the willingness to stand in the gap even when you won't see the outcome. And I do this work with my daughters in mind. Because the world that they inherit matters more to me than winning an argument. Because their safety matters more than my comfort, and I want them to inherit a world where justice is not performative, where leadership is rooted in service. So today I say this plainly, and if you know me, you know I'm blunt, I'm honest, and I'm unapologetic. The time is now. Now to stand up, now to get organized, now to do the work that saves lives, shifts systems, and builds something better. And if you are not ready to do that work, then step aside and make room for the people who are. This movement is bigger than all of us. So thank you to Alliance San Diego. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Isidro. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you to every person who's poured into me and believed in that little black girl from Southeast who did not know her way or her purpose. And thank you, Leo. God bless. Ashe.
Congratulations, Diamond. To honor our Board President Emeritus, Ashley Walker, this next award is given to an individual who embodies her work to build the beloved community through bold acts of inclusion, love, and justice. Please welcome Alliance San Diego Board member Jack Hsu and Christopher Wilson from United Domestic Workers to present the 2026 Ashley L. Walker Social Justice Award.
Good morning. It is an honor to present the 2026 Ashley L. Walker Social Justice Award this morning. Before my friend Chris tells you about the awardee, let me tell you about Ms. Walker, who has touched so many lives. She is a lifelong social justice advocate that has left an indelible mark in this world. As a child, she integrated her all-male, all-white school at significant peril to herself. As an adult, she has fought for the downtrodden, the marginalized, and the endangered, always leading with love. She is credited with institutionalizing comprehensive domestic violence services in our county after she worked tirelessly to build a more inclusive San Diego as a longtime executive director of the City of San Diego Human Relations Commission. Ashley Walker is a founding board member of Alliance San Diego, and I'm honored to extend the award in her name today. The award in her name recognizes an individual or group for their work in promoting peace, social justice, human and civil rights. Thank you.
Good morning, family. Where my activist family at? Where my labor family at? Where's my blood at? Again, I'm Christopher Wilson. I'm the Chief Strategy and Impact Officer at United Domestic Workers. And I'm happy to be with you this morning. It is indeed an honor to stand with Jack and present the Ashley L. Walker Award. I need y'all to give me some grace, because this one might be a little hard for me. I met Diamond when she was 17. And she won't be ashamed if I tell you she had no direction and didn't know where this life was gonna take her. And we got her in the right place, right? We did that. And so today I'm here to give the Ashley Walker Award to another very close, very, very close friend of mine. My kids call him uncle. I call him brother. And I'm sure in this room, there are probably only 2 degrees of separation between anybody in this room and the honoree today. First, I want to say this. Darkness, Dr. King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And I just want to warn us in this room, when our opposition, the people who are opposed to our very existence, uses Dr. King's words and co-opts his message, we got to call that out. Do not be fooled. They do not believe in Dr. King's dream. They don't believe in it for you. They don't believe in it for me. And we got to stand together. And Ashley Walker knew that and lived that and breathed that. And she was my mentor. And she struggled every day to find the love in her heart to share with the world, because she was so mad at how the world did us. All of us marginalized people, all of us oppressed people. And she worked every day of her life to build the unity and solidarity needed to win. And the honoree today is my brother Viet Mai, did the same thing. He fought every day to build a San Diego where people like you and me could be happy, could thrive. He joined every program, he joined every movement, he stood up for every person that needed somebody to stand up for them. And fortunately, I was able to have a 20-something year relationship and have him in my life and be in his life and watch him make the change every day. He was a mentor at the Village of Promise. He was a RISE Fellow. He was an Aaron Price Fellow. He worked at Mac Charter School. He started numerous clubs and groups at his alma mater, UCSD. He stayed connected to the community. He worked hard for the community. He's an artist. I met him as a rapper and dancer. Eventually, he became a poet and a social media graphic designer of the highest quality. And I'm sad to tell you that Viet is no longer with us. He transitioned to the other life on October 19th. And so I am happy to introduce Viet's family to accept the award posthumously on his behalf, and to say, please, please, please celebrate my brother in the fight, Viet Mai. This is Viet's family, his brothers, his father, nieces, nephews, sisters.
Wow. Thank you so much for this tremendous honor. Thank you. I'm one of Viet's older brothers, Huang. I guess we're on this side. That's our older brother, Alex. He is our brother. He looks totally different. He has a different dad. He is our brother. Our youngest brother, Kevin. My wife, Jennifer. My two kids, Logan and Lucy. And another brother, Andy. And then our father, Tanmai. Again, just want to say a big thank you to honoring Viet. We knew about his life. We knew about what he served and what he did for his community. Me being from San Diego also originally, I'm so proud of him for doing that. However, we did not expect the sheer magnitude. We knew it was big, but we didn't understand the magnitude of his influence until recently. So thank you, Alliance San Diego, for honoring Viet. I wish he could receive this when he was alive, but this makes it more powerful for us. So we have him in our hearts, and I hope that you have him in your hearts as you continue to serve and fight for social justice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Viet Mai and family. In every facet of our work, Alliance San Diego recognizes the need for building community power. In order to create lasting change, we must intentionally work together to elevate community, claim dignity, and protect human rights. Please welcome to the stage local artist Jay Pierre to perform I Am America, a song uplifting our differences as a source of unwavering strength.
Baby, I am America. I'm a stranger just like you. Hey, baby, I am America. You've been begging for the truth. Yeah, truth is I love you even when you get offended. Truth is I love you, so come on, let's split the difference. Baby, I am America. Let me make it crystal clear. We are here. Hey. Baby, I am America, and I'm burning through the roof. Hey, baby, I am America, and I'm here to change the news. Hey, I know you say it, won't you say it like you mean it? And then you say it, won't you say it with some feeling? Hey, baby, I am America. Let me make it crystal clear. We're here. This how America walk. This how America talk. This how America is. This how America walk. How America talks. How America is. Hey, baby, I am America. I'm the cherry pie on your lips. Yeah. Baby, I am America. I'm your gin and juice. Take a sip. Yeah. I know I get you excited. My existence is riot, so don't you dare even try it. Hey, baby, I am America. Let me make it crystal clear. We are here. I'm here. Yeah, you're here. We're here. She's here. He's here. We're here. Yeah. This how America walks. How America talks. How America is. Thank you.
Wow. Those lyrics remind us to celebrate uniqueness and reclaim the narrative of this country. Please welcome Mallory Adamski, Alliance San Diego Communications Director, to introduce this year's keynote speaker.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Mallory Adamski, and I am the Communications Director for Alliance San Diego. I'm pleased to be introducing our keynote speaker this morning, who bravely came in from that East Coast cold, someone who undoubtedly has influenced the writer and storyteller that I am today. I remember being in journalism school in 2013. I had just moved to Chicago, and being in the city was exciting for me, but I knew next to no one outside of school. I was hungry for connection, starving for understanding, and desperate for something to nourish me while I fought through the pangs of loneliness. It was around this time I stumbled upon a new blog, Code Switch by National Public Radio, which debuted that same year. The voices, the writing, it all fed me in ways I didn't even know that I needed, offering fresh perspectives of people of color and the narratives and issues that we live in our daily lives. This was all at a time when journalism was rapidly shifting into more digital media. Code Switch, in its blog and now podcast format, goes beyond the immediate reactions and instead dares to dive deeper into real talk with and about communities of color. Passing the mic to often unheard voices, Code Switch is what inspired me and gave me the courage to apply and eventually intern at WBEZ Chicago Public Radio, the city's NPR affiliate. Code Switch fully launched as a podcast in 2016, 3 years later. After that, 2020 hit us like a ton of bricks, not only with COVID, but the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis that ignited a collective social movement for justice and law enforcement reform. At the cross-section of where race and identity meet, Code Switch deepened the conversation around Floyd's death, connecting us through radio when we were struggling to make sense of everything happening around us. The story of Floyd's life, his family, of his dignity, spoke to me, and collectively, our communities together felt this loss. Today, we are still feeling those reverberations of injustice, where only a few blocks away from where Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis, Renee Good was killed by an ICE agent 12 days ago. Enter B.A. Parker, who joined Code Switch as a co-host in 2022. A writer and audio producer from Baltimore, B.A. Parker is visiting us from Brooklyn, New York. A film professor at Morgan State University and Stevenson University, she found her way to audio through a fellowship with the radio show This American Life. Now, if you haven't heard of This American Life, we're gonna need to talk after this, so just grab me. It's kind of a big deal. B.A. Parker has produced for NPR's Invisibilia and It's Been a Minute, Gimlet's Heavyweight, WNYC's Nancy, and Radiolab. In 2019, she was selected for Third Coast Radio's residency at Ragdale. She has also been the co-host and lead producer of The Cut with New York Magazine. Like the Southern Border Communities Coalition, Code Switch recently explored an important marker in our community's history with their 2024 podcast, 100 Years of Immigration Policies Working to Keep Out Immigrants. This fight for dignity, as we know it, is not new. It is a story our families courageously live through and continue to bravely challenge every day. At a time when there is so much disinformation swirling, when our funding for public media is being attacked, when algorithms are cherry-picking the voices we hear, we must have the courage to speak our own truth and seek out the voices that make up our communities, not just those being hand-fed to us. B.A. Parker, we are so pleased you are here. Thank you for being with us in San Diego. Everyone, please join me in welcoming the 38th Annual All Peoples Celebration keynote speaker, B.A. Parker.
Oh, boy. Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, boy. Another round of applause for all the incredible performers here this morning. All right. Thank you to Alliance San Diego for inviting me to stand before you all today. Thank you to Advancement Director Maisha Rice. Thank you to Executive Director Andrea Guerrero for having me. It is truly my privilege to be here for the 30th Annual All Peoples Celebration. If I could be terribly vulnerable at the start of this, I feel a bit out of place because, I mean, the caliber of keynote speaker you've had before has been pretty exquisite. You've had like Reverend Dr. Barber, y'all have had like Odette, y'all got, like Eva Patterson, like even my mama was like, they invited you. And I was like, I know, but I'm here, so there you go.
But I'm truly honored. But I'm also embarrassed, like when I think about being under this banner of Choose Courage. I don't consider myself a particularly courageous person. I think about like the closest I've come to like near the embodiment of Dr. King is I was Coretta Scott King's bridesmaid in my 3rd grade class assembly. So like, no, I was fantastic. I caught the bouquet. I was great. But we're all here to eat, to congregate, to celebrate the legacy of Dr. King. But we're also here, I think, to refresh ourselves on the ideals that hopefully will guide us through the new year. I can't believe we're still it's middle of January. Now, I'm not gonna list all the ways that our spirits have grown heavy over the past year or the past few weeks. We feel them when we check our phones, when we go to work or we go to school, or when we walk past masked armed men patrolled on the street. And the Supreme Court says those masked armed men can stop and detain a person based on their perceived ethnicity, spoken language, or occupation. With our everyday lives sort of encased in disquiet, I started looking at the state of trust in the culture. And I came across this study, all right? So in 2019, the Pew Research Center put out this study that said 64% of Americans believe that trust in each other is shrinking. We don't trust each other. It can be fear of people acting in bad faith, institutions, authority, the intolerant, people walking to you wearing meta glasses. I don't know, that seems like a New York problem more than a California problem. I mean, it's safe to say that individualism is all but ingrained in our country's ethos, and to even think about community can be treated rather cynically. But that same study also noticed something. So 69% of US adults have confidence. 69% of US adults have confidence in their fellow Americans to help those in need. Over 60% believe that Americans will help each other out, help each other with community problems, and that their fellow Americans will treat each other with respect. But to be fair, this is from 2019. 2026 is a whole new ballgame. Quite honestly, it can feel like two very different Americas. Because in order to believe in one another, you have to see people as people. You have to trust in them and reinforce their dignity as well as your own. And that can be hard. Now, for those who may not be able to notice in the back, I am a Black woman in America. So secretly, I can be afraid of everything. Sometimes it feels to simply open my front door can be a revolutionary act. So I may not be part of that 64% that believes that trust is shrinking. But for this year's theme being Choose Courage, I felt like I also needed a refresher for myself on what it means to be courageous. What does courage even look like right now? So I recently interviewed someone who said to me, Parker, it's important to remember that we consider courage a virtue because it's not common. If everyone possessed it, we wouldn't think of it as a virtue. It would just be an everyday trait. So I guess I'm here today to encourage you all and to encourage myself to be an anomaly. I know right now there's a lot of fear and frustration and disheartenment. What can we do? What can you do when you witness injustice and you know what is right, what is kind and just, and the powers that be know it too, but actively and viciously choose to do the opposite? When you see what happened to Renee Good in Minneapolis, or Silverio Villegas Gonzalez in Chicago, or Keith Porter in Los Angeles, and feel powerless. Because so much of living can feel as though you're defending why you should be alive. Now, I don't think a radical act of courage has to be this like huge, big thing, right? Or even death-defying. Because, okay, real talk, I've spent the past year learning how to play the banjo with a group of strangers at a library, just for the heck of it. I would say nothing is scarier than playing This Little Light of Mine at a block party. Terrifying. So while I try to think about this idea of courage a little more deeply, I hope y'all don't mind going on a little journey with me. It's a bit windy, but I promise it'll make sense in the end, okay? So I'm gonna tell you a few stories about courage that have shaped me personally. And we'll go from small to big. So that all right with y'all? Yeah, all right, okay, excellent. So this might be an unremarkable story, but it has reached mythological proportions in my family. It was passed down from my grandmother to my mother to me, and it's the story of my great-grandmother, Lucille. So my grandmother's mother, from what my family says, she was this sweet, soft-spoken woman who meant business. And so my family is from an incredibly small town in the northeast region of North Carolina. And my great-grandmother Lucille and her husband were sharecroppers on this little plot of land, and they had 10 kids. And my Grams was the third child, and my Uncle Haywood was the fourth. And somehow, my Grams and my uncle were the first in the family and in the town to go to college. And, oh, you can clap, it was nice. And they happened to go to college at the same time. This was 1947, and my Grams was at North Carolina Central University, and my uncle was at North Carolina A&T. And all this because great-grandma Lucille she sold turkeys to get them there, because she said someone was getting an education, like she was determined. And so then Grandma Lucille had probably the best first problem to have. Both of her children were graduating from college on the exact same day in 2 different cities. But that didn't stop her, all right? So because for the first time in her life at 50 years old, my great-grandma Lucille got on a bus all alone, leaving her husband and kids on the farm, traveled 200 miles to Durham to see her oldest daughter graduate in the morning, hopped on another bus with some guidance, and traveled 60 more miles to Greensboro to see her son graduate that evening, and then traveled all the way back to the family farm. Because that's what family does for one another, right? They support one another, they show up. But I try to picture great-grandma Lucille in the 1940s going forth on this journey all alone, unsure of her safety, vaguely sure of her route to get from A to B to C as she navigates rural North Carolina towards the big city. All because she dared to see a future for her children outside of the present that they were living in, and she was determined to bear witness. Now, I don't know if I can live up to the tireless spirit of my great-grandmother Lucille, but I can bear witness, which is most of what my job is. Fun fact, per rules of said job, I'm not allowed to protest for risk of appearing biased. But I can create love letters on the radio about those who do. I can shine a light on those who push past their fears in order to defend their dignity and their communities, and those who, when in doubt, choose to lead with their conscience. Now, when we talk about the fortitude of courage, to me, there are 3 pillars that kind of give our hearts just enough guardrails to choose to be courageous. And I know this is gonna sound cutesy, but there's sacrifice, solidarity, and stamina. So a couple of years ago, I was sent on assignment to Laramie, Wyoming. And I don't know if y'all have been to Laramie. It's a college town of about 33,000 people, mostly white. Every street I walked down, everyone smiled and asked me how I was doing, just like the nicest folks. And like the sky had never looked as large or as blue or as beautiful than standing on a corner in Laramie. Yet the only three things I knew about the town at the time were all violent acts of bigotry. And I was there to report on one, an old one from 1969. There was a group of young black football players at the University of Wyoming who would eventually be called the Black 14. They were recruited from all over the country, all walks of life, and they found themselves in a fight that so many athletes of color find themselves in, which is a fight to defend their personhood. After a racist experience with another college football team on the field, the 14 black football players wanted to wear black armbands as a quiet protest during the game. But instead of being heard by their coach or being seen with compassion, they were swiftly and unceremoniously kicked off the team, and the town turned against them. They lost their scholarships, some lost their education, and the trajectory of their lives completely shifted. Now, it's a profound thing to talk to men in their 70s about a decision that irrevocably changed their lives 57 years ago, crying over the devastation and callousness that they endured from their school, from being displaced to being met with rifles by locals in pickup trucks, all because they'd naively thought the town would treat them with understanding when they asked for the same level of respect as their white teammates. It is moments like this with the Black 14 that I got to witness the sacrifice that comes with being courageous, that there is a cost to keeping your heart intact. It was Dr. King who said, "Cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right?" And there is a feeling in your gut about what is and isn't right. And for the remaining members of the Black 14 who look back on this defining moment in their lives, there's never regret about their decision, but rather disappointment in the limits of other people's empathy. Because when you extend an olive branch of empathy, it opens up a whole new world of solidarity. Case in point, in 2023, I met a man named Reverend Herbert Daltrey. Now, I went to see this old documentary short film called The Black and the Green, and I was one of maybe 6 people in the movie theater. And there was Reverend Daltrey, who was a slender black man in his 90s, excited to share his story, and I immediately knew I wanted to interview him because about him in the film and this trip that totally shifted his perspective on activism. So it was 1983, and a group of mostly black civil rights leaders in the US were invited to Northern Ireland by Irish Republicans to bear witness to the Troubles, which I guess for the younger people in the audience, was the conflict between those mainly Protestant wanting to stay within the United Kingdom and those mainly Catholic who wanted a united Ireland. So this was after the hunger strikes, which were when a group of Irish Republican paramilitary leaders were imprisoned and refused to eat until they were considered prisoners of war. And ultimately, 10 prisoners died of starvation. Now, this is the backdrop of what Reverend Daltrey and his group were being invited into. And there was still hesitancy about the trip, there was still hesitancy about going on the trip because of a reason that I had never even considered. For them, so in America, a lot of the Irish people that they had encountered were authority, police, and they couldn't yet see the Irish as oppressed because they'd mainly seen them dressed as the oppressor. And the group was afraid of meeting the same treatment visiting Northern Ireland as they received here in the US. But when the group arrived in the country, they learned rather quickly that, as Reverend Daltrey would tell me, he could see the fingerprints of one struggle on another. The Catholics were being systemically discriminated against politically, socially, and economically, and they were using the tactics that they'd learned from seeing Dr. King in the United States to stand up against loyalists and the police. Now, the Irish Republicans' approach was constantly in conversation with the civil rights movement, even adopting the song "We Shall Overcome" as an anthem of their liberty. And Reverend Daughtry and his group were able to bear witness to an injustice not unlike their own, sleeping in the homes of those who'd brutally lost family at the hands of the police. The experience ended in solidarity, a better understanding that building community and cultivating those bonds are absolutely vital to how we protect one another. And when we talk about the cost of courage, one thing we don't always consider is time. Having the stamina to endure, to wait things out and stand your ground in resistance can awake an unexpected group like you wouldn't believe. So this past summer, I went back to my grandmother's homestead, the farm in North Carolina. So every year, my family, we have a big cookout, and we dance and play cards and remember my grandmother and my mother's mother and her mother and her mother, all the way back to the plantation that our family comes from that still sits in the same town as our farm. And nearby is a town called Edenton. So my whole life, it's been the closest place I could go to a movie theater or buy like a used John le Carre novel. And when I was there last summer, I came upon the most compelling scene. In the middle of the town square was a statue, a monument to the Confederate soldiers of the Civil War. It was a statue of a soldier with an engraving said, "Our Confederate Dead," which was cleverly positioned by the water towards the north to laugh at the Union. And it's a monument that I would see every summer and sadly never get to give much thought to because, frankly, there's always a debris of Southern sins when you're trying to like enjoy an ice cream cone. Like it's just there. But this time I saw a small crowd. On one side, there were biker guys in leather vests standing with Confederate flags and MAGA hats. And on the other side of the statue was an older white married couple. Their names are Rod and Elaine. And they're in their 70s, and they moved down to the small seaside town to retire. But instead of resting, they and a group of locals that they have met up every Saturday morning for the past 3 years to picket that Confederate statue. We can clap for them, they're doing great. Demanding that it be taken down because in a town that is predominantly not white, they're confused as to who the statue is for. They maintain their side of the street with their picket signs, and when hordes of out-of-town pro-Confederates swarmed the town for a rally a week before I met them, Rod and his group stood there in defiance. And this past September, Rod's side had a victory. He sent out a picture. It was of the town with cranes taking down the statue in the middle of the night. Calm down, this is an uphill battle, because now the decision is still being debated. So people are waiting in the wings to relocate the statue somewhere else in the town. And to that, Rod says that he and Elaine now have their Saturdays open. So it's okay, I realized a little too late after writing this speech that all of these stories were about older people. But I think this is a good thing, because it shows that courage isn't a finite resource. It can settle inside of you and thrive, and you can come out on the other side braver and wiser than before. Because you should be able to look around you and have confidence in your friend or neighbor helping those in need. You should be able to believe that your friend or neighbor will help one another with community problems. You should believe that your friend and neighbor will treat one another with respect. And if that isn't the case, then I am so sorry to break it to you. You are, in fact, the change we need to see. I'm so sorry. There's an old Irish parable that's passed around a lot about a man who goes before St. Peter at the pearly gates. And St. Peter asks the man to roll up his sleeves and show him his scars. And this man proudly says, "I don't have any scars." And St. Peter says, "Why? Was there nothing worth fighting for?" We live in a world now that asks the question of us on a regular basis, is there nothing worth fighting for? And I'm not talking physically, this ain't that kind of party. I'm talking about daring to have principles, daring to be vulnerable, daring to move through this antagonistic world with as much compassion as you can muster, because that is the courageous thing. 6 months before Dr. King was assassinated, he gave this miraculous sermon that was later called the But If Not sermon. And he says, quote, "You may be 38 years old as I happen to be, and one day some great opportunity stands before you and calls upon you to stand up for some great principle, some great issue, some great cause, and you refuse to do it because you are afraid," end quote, which, as someone in her 30s, hits me like a ton of bricks. And he goes on to say about that fear, "You may go on and live until you are 90, but you're just as dead at 38 as you would be at 90. And the cessation of breathing in your life is but the belated announcement of an earlier death of the spirit." Which, come on. Because if you deny yourself, a hint of bravery is to deny yourself an inherent spark that propels the soul. The spark that reaffirms our sense of self. It's that spark that ignites our most spectacular impulses, to love and to be loved, to give help and stubbornly to ask for help, to see and to be seen. And I'm realizing as I'm saying this, sounds like I'm reading Katy Perry lyrics, so I'm gonna. But is there nothing worth fighting for? Because at the very least, you are worth fighting for. Because while 64% of Americans honestly believe that trust in each other is shrinking, I am confident in the courage of those here today to prove that number wrong. And if you can do it, I promise to do it too. And so with that, I thank you. Be kind.
Wow. They didn't tell me I was following her. My name is Olivia Mercedes. I am a poet and visual artist, and I was asked to come here today to do some closing remarks on the theme of courage. Thank you, Alliance San Diego, for inviting me to be a part of this event. I hope you all feel as encouraged as I do. Actually, could you all do me a huge favor? Could you reach one hand way up in the sky like this? Point to the person sitting directly across from you and tell them, thank you for being here today. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for putting gratitude in the world. So I want to start this poem by inviting you all to imagine the most courageous being you've ever met. What do they look like? Are they an elder whose story struck you with awe? Are they a child who refused to let their strength be labeled a weakness? Or a mother who proved to be a superhero? Maybe they're a superhero whose adventures gave you a safe escape from reality. Maybe they're a bristlecone pine tree that's withstood thousands of years of hostility, or a pet relentlessly rescuing their soulmate. Maybe they're a stranger whose vulnerability left a mark on you, or a leader who spoke truths others feared to. Maybe they're a survivor of the same misfortune that scarred you. Maybe it's you. Or maybe you're the one dancing in someone else's view now. I want to ask you, what do all of our courageous figures have in common? amidst the variety in their circumstance across the spectrum of their fears, before they did the courageous thing, they chose to care about something. Whether it was themselves, their family, their community, their neighbor, their health, their environment, they cared so much that when you pictured courage, they stared back at you. The most dangerous force in our world today is not guns, bombs, or natural disaster. It's division. And given this breakfast is centered around alliance, I know I don't have to explain this to you, but I'd like to remind you that in a world where turning us against each other is the oppressor's most profitable priority, the most courageous thing we can do is take care of each other. The biggest threat to their success is not the color of our skin, the story we worship, the gender we play, or the way we love. It's the unity we dare build with it. It's the truth we dare speak with it, the humanity we dare show with it. The Black Panthers fed breakfast to every child. El Movimiento brought unions for all workers. The Urban League fought for equal employment for every minority. Civil rights is not just a movement, it's the blueprint for our survival. Because once we learn to take care of each other instead of other each other, we unravel the core of their greed machine. We dismantle their weapons of mass division. We do not need to bite the hand that feeds us when we learn to feed each other, as Renee's body bled out behind him. The officer said, "I don't care." And while we gasp, "How could he?" I want to ask him, when did we stop caring about you? Because at some point he did care. At some point he was a child who cared. Until someone or something made caring too painful, too vulnerable, too lonely, too inconvenient, to insert conditioned fear of our own humanity here. We must care for each other to keep us from becoming the ones who don't care. We must not let hate buy our pain or division weaponize our identity. We must have the courage to care. Because look around. We still have each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia, for sharing that special message. The daily fight for justice is often tough, and words like yours help us remain grounded and focused. We now invite all faith leaders and those who lead faith-based organizations, along with all performers, to join us on stage for the singing of the unofficial anthem of the Civil Rights Movement, "We Shall Overcome." Kyle Brandon, Alliance San Diego's office manager, will guide us through 3 verses that honor our struggles as we continue to build Dr. King's beloved community. If you're able, please stand and join us.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I will believe. We shall overcome someday. We will all be free. We will all be free. We will all be free. We will all be free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall all be free someday. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk
This concludes the 38th Annual All Peoples Celebration. Thank you for celebrating with us. In every moment, decide to choose courage, even in the face of challenges. Be sure to stop by the Brave Like Us photo gallery pop-up and the Quilting Courage Community Art Project on the terrace. As you head out, enjoy the vibes of Bumba Liberté.